Hello and welcome to Tim Conley Drums. Today I want to talk about the mental game and how it affects us as musicians and how it affects us as people. Now, first of all, before I get into the whole mental game thing, some of my viewers have asked me, how do I come up with my ideas for videos? Well, I would say 90% of what I've been doing lately is doing what I'm doing now, just getting on here and telling stories about things that have happened to me as a musician or things that I've witnessed, things I've been involved in many, many, many different scenarios over 40 years of gigging and touring. So that's the majority. But sometimes I get influenced by things that I see, which prompts a video, or something happens to me, or something happens to somebody I know, and I get motivated to discuss topics around things that happen to me or people I know. So that's what prompted today's video. One of my friends slash students, former student, he's also a musician. He's going through a really hard time right now, and he's been checked into a mental hospital to try and get him in a better place mentally. Now, we all go through trauma, ups and downs in our lives. It's not specific to musicians. But one thing I want to point out to people in regards to musicians is, and of course, I'm generalizing to some extent, but bear with me here because, like I said, this is not exclusive to musicians. This could happen to a guy that works in an office as a computer tech. But in my over the years of working in the music industry and being around a lot of musicians are highly sensitive. They're sensitive in terms of their ego. They're sensitive in terms of their feelings, and they express a lot of their emotions through music. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's one of the ways that musicians deal with all the trauma and stress and whatever they go through. They put it into their music, whether the music be instrumental or vocal. Now, obviously, vocal is the one that affects the majority of us as listeners. Instrumentals can definitely affect you too, but words have meaning. I strongly believe that. So my friend student was just doing a live stream from the mental hospital. I guess they allowed him to get on there, and one of his ways of dealing with what he's doing or what he's going through is to do a live stream with his guitar and sing. Unbelievable coincidence. Just as he's about to start, I type a comment to uplift him. And the comment basically was, stay strong. I'm here for you, the supportive message. And then I wrote, as George would say, here comes the sun. As I'm writing, here comes the sun, I haven't sent it to him yet. He starts playing on the guitar, here comes the sun. So the coincidence of that was mind-blowing. And then I sent it to him. He actually stopped while he was playing and read the message, commented on the message verbally to me. And it's sad for me to see what he's going through. He's been through a lot, but sometimes, and I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but sometimes people just can't handle things when things come in bunches. Like you lose your job, your wife leaves you, your girlfriend leaves you, you get robbed, you get into a car accident, somebody dies. Like sometimes it can all attack you at once, and then the cheese just slides off the cracker. It can happen to any and all of us. Sometimes all it takes is one thing, one terrible thing to happen to us, and it can start that cycle of you starting to lose it. Now, for those of you out there that are possibly experiencing this right now, I do have some words of wisdom and some uplifting thoughts for you. I've been through some very terrible times in my life. I've been through a divorce. I thought I was going to lose my kids. I've been through health scare, and I have definitely been through some trauma in my life, just growing up. You know, the situation that I grew up in was very difficult, and I've been there. So what I'm saying is there is light at the end of the tunnel if you seek it. If you seek the light, meaning if you can come out of a trauma, out of a tragedy with the perspective of it can get better, it can get better. I tell you right now, it can get better. When you're in the middle of it, when you're in the depths of depression, you're talking about suicide, you're thinking about suicide, don't go that far, because you can bounce back. I know that even people that are in the absolute depths of depression and homelessness, and maybe they lost a child, or their parent died, or something tragic has happened to them, I know that if you let time do its thing, the old saying, time heals, I do believe that in some cases. Now, time doesn't totally heal. I'll give you an example. My mother passed away 21 years ago. It'll be December 19th, 2 days from now, that is the anniversary of her death. It still hurts me to this day to think of her as being gone after 21 years. It's been a long time. And even though I have healed in a lot of ways, because I have a lot of great memories of her and I talk about her a lot, I talk to her, I say things like, Mom, I can feel your presence. I know you're here. Help me, guide me, stuff like that. And I'm not a religious person in any way, shape, or form. However, I do believe in some element of spirituality. And when you're suffering and when you're in pain, even after 21 years, I know that she would want me to move on, continue, be uplifting, to motivate people, to try and get people to see possibly a different perspective. I think that's the key to my success in terms of dealing with some of the things that I have been through. Now, I'm going to do a separate video. I've been humming and hawing about this, guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. I grew up in a difficult situation. My mom was awesome. She was my hero. She was my absolute hero. If it wasn't for my mom, I don't know where I'd be. But my mom was the uplifter. My mom was the motivator. She kept saying to me, you can do it. Now, we did battle it out when I wanted to be a musician and she wanted me to be a cop or a fireman or something like that. And I didn't really want to do that, even though I actually did apply and get hired on the Barrie police force years ago. I did apply and I actually got the job, but I turned it down. My mother was not happy about that because my heart just wasn't in that line of work. Who knows what would have happened to me if I had taken that job and became a cop? My mother would have been happy, but would I have been happy? So, despite the fact that she's gone and I think about her every single day, and I always, like I said, I talk to her, I feel that she wants me to continue on in a positive light and have fond memories of her instead of hitting the bottle, hitting the needle, depressed, lying around the house, sleeping all day, doing all those sort of things. My way to cope is getting on here right now and talking to you guys and trying to inspire and uplift other people out of their misery, because I've been there. And I understand what it's like to be in the depths. If you watch my video when I used to live in a car, I lived in a barn, I lived in an abandoned house, I've had hard times. Now, what I was saying earlier was, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a video about explaining about my childhood, my teen years, whatever, because there's some difficult stuff for me in there to talk about. My sisters sometimes watch me on this channel, and my sisters will know what I'm talking about. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not. So I've decided that I'm going to put it out to you guys. Do you guys want me to tell you about my childhood? Some people not interested, who cares? But my childhood was unlike anyone else's childhood. I had some very strange things happen and some truly amazing things happen. Like I said, my mother was a saint. She treated me incredibly. But there were some other things in my life that I'm not going to get into here that weren't as great. So I'm putting it out to you guys. If you are interested in hearing about some of my actual past, some things that I went through that maybe some of you you might get something out of it. I don't know. But let me know if you're interested in hearing about some of the things that I went through when I was younger. Now, I have some friends that watch my channel too. Some of them know about some of the things that I went through, but they don't know to what degree because I kept a lot of it a secret. There's a few of my friends that watch my channel that aren't particularly, they were close to me, but they weren't close to me in the sense that they're at my house every day. Some of my friends were at my house all the time, and it was pretty much a normal house to some degree. But to some of my friends that would just see me at school, we'd hang out at the school, we'd go and play hockey together, toss a football, whatever, but they never actually came over to my house. They probably are going to get a bit of a shock. They're not going to know what I went through, and they're going to be finding stuff out that they just didn't know about. Some of my friends know to some degree, most don't. But anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. I just want to get on here and talk about what you can do to help yourself. Now, I'm not a big fan of medication in terms of psychotropics or anything that alters the way your brain functions. Now, maybe I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm personally just stating what I believe. I'm not a big fan of altering your brain the way a lot of psychiatric medication does, but I know there's people out there that have some serious problems and they need those meds. I get that. It's just not for me. I'm not at that point in any way, shape, or form. But I do believe that talking, whether it be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, your friends, your parents, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, whoever you need to talk to, I think talking is a big thing. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I don't really have a lot of people to talk to. That's why I get on here and talk to you guys to some extent. I mean, my family has heard my stories because, obviously long before I got on YouTube and started talking about stuff, I was telling my kids my stories about things that I experienced, my wife, my family, I wish my mom was here that I could tell her some things that have happened over the last 21 years because I think she would be really proud of me and really amazed at the way that her boy turned out. Because I think that overcoming sadness and hardship is a difficult thing for all of us to overcome. But I'm here to say to you today, there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you can stay strong, talk to people, stay away from the drugs and the alcohol, that is a Band-Aid that does not help. You go to bed drunk, you wake up, the problem is not resolved. It's still there. You need to actively seek out help or get out of bed and change things. That's my next topic. Only you can really alter your depression, anxiety, etc. I've suffered from anxiety, and I realized that a lot of anxiety is brought on by yourself, by your own thoughts, and by your own feelings. You have to alter your thoughts and feelings. How do you do that? You have to go and do things that make you happy, positive things, be around positive people, and get rid of negative people in your life. Very important. When I was a student of Dom Dom would often talk to me about the mental game. He would talk to me about positivity and the power of positivity. Now, I want to show you something here. This book, and I'm not I'm not promoting this book because I'm trying to make sales for Dom. Dom has passed away. He doesn't care about sales. But I'm telling you, this book will help you. Reading books like this book will help you. So the book is called The Cycle of Empowerment, Dom Famularo. It's an absolutely incredible book, living the life you choose by creating positive cycles. I believe in this book 100%. 100%. There's things in here that you will read and go, I never thought of that. I never thought about how to change. How can I get out of this negative cycle that I'm in? This book will help you. And again, I'm promoting this book only because I read it and I believe in it. And I've spent 16 years around this man, and he was incredible, incredible. So now that he's gone, all we have left is his books, his videos, and his legacy. So I encourage everybody out there, if you're going through a tough time, get on domfamularo.com, order this book. It's fantastic. All right, guys, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I got a few more really cool Christmas videos coming up. Please try and stay positive, talk to people. Sometimes around this time of year, a lot of people, it's a happy time, but a lot of people get down in the dumps. And I want to wish my friend in the hospital, I'm not going to say his name, I want to wish you the best, and I hope that you can recover and get the treatment that you need in that mental ward. And I hope that you can come out of there strong as ever, singing, playing guitar, drums, piano, all the instruments that you play, and get out there and sing some joyful music. All right, thanks very much. I want to thank all my new subscribers, and I appreciate all the wonderful comments that I've been getting. I've been getting some truly amazing, inspirational, and motivational comments from you guys to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you very much. As always, keep drumming. See ya.